Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're tuning in. My name is Jonathan Torres Herrera, and you are watching the JTH Show. Today, we're going to talk about why it isn't just about your skills. Roll the intro. If you saw me do a face like, oh, I finally got it, because it's like the fourth time I repeat myself. It's a mouthful. Why it isn't just about your skills. Someone's going to be like, no, it's not. Learn how to talk. It is. Why it isn't just about your skills. Get some, JT. So today's video, it's going to be a little bit more lighthearted, and it's going to be part of the, Let's Talk Business playlist that I have. A lot of the ones that I have made recently are just, live talk, right? News events, my opinion and stuff like that. But, one of the reasons I make this show is, I wanted to help pass along whatever I could, right? Whatever experience I had gained and what has brought me to where I am now, along to other people that will find value in it, right? I've said it a long time ago, and I'll say it again today, and I'll keep saying it probably for the rest of my life. No, what I have to share is not for all ears, because there's going to be some people that are going to find zero value in it. Maybe because they're legitimately so much more in life than I am right now, or whenever I say my rants or my spills or my advice, or simply because they don't like me and they're like, I could take whatever you're saying and I know I can make something of myself, but I fucking hate you. So, whatever the reason it is, it's okay. All right. So for those of you guys who are still here, let's talk about the skill. Why, in my opinion, it's not just about your skill. So what do I mean by that? It's pretty simple. All right. And to me, at least it is. And I know, speaking to my wife, right? I understand that some people don't see it this way. So let's just right now say you have some fantastic skill that you feel that either you should be getting paid a lot of money for, or at one point or another, you want to get paid handsomely for utilizing said skill or skills for your future employer, or even for your own business. So my issue is that I've spoken with plenty of people that have asked me, hey, what about that? Hey, you have this. Hey, I'm thinking of doing this in my life in the future. What's your opinion? And I'm always very humbled when anybody cares to hear me, right? Whether it be right now, you watching this video, or people that have reached out to me in DMs and even in person, right? For those of you guys that me like that. And, one of the things that I tell people is don't cheat yourself. Now, what I mean by that is don't be a cheapskate with yourself, right? In the sense of, if you are, as an example, right, in the video that I played at the beginning, someone that is in a trade, right? Maybe an electrician, maybe a contractor for, in construction or something like that, or even as an employee, many times, you are required to bring tools. They'll give you maybe some entry tools. And I know this, by the way, because I was in cable. Some of you guys know that. And they'll, as an employee, they'll provide you some tools. But there are some additional tools that you can buy for yourself that it will just make the job easier, right? That technically and legally a company does not need to provide for you. Now, there are going to be different types of people. There are going to be those that are going to be like, well, if you don't provide it, then I'm not going to buy it because I can't afford it. I don't want to afford it. I don't care to afford it. You need to provide it for me because you're my employer. All right. That's your mentality. That's your mindset. then and honestly, this video is not going to be very helpful for you, right? Because I'm not also in the business of changing minds. But if you're at least a little open-minded and you never thought about it this way, let me tell you something. If you start taking the approach of buying tools that are going to essentially, what's that word I'm looking for? It's going to complement your skill or your skills. You are going to be doing yourself a gigantic favor, because otherwise you'll be doing yourself a disservice. All right. So take me for an example, right? I'm not going to take you for an example or someone else, although I could, maybe I will. But right now, I have a full-time job, and I think I'm pretty damn good at it, which is why I get paid what I get paid. And I do what I do on the side, like the podcasts and the other websites I have and all the other ventures I have. That's all stuff that I put money into before it ever gives me a dime back. Now, there's some of you guys out there like, oh yeah, but I know this guy that said with zero money down. Hey, whatever. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. I'm still much of the mindset of if something sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. So when someone tells me it takes $0 to do this and to become a millionaire, I choose not to, believe it. But if you do, hey, good for you. And if it works out for you and if it has worked out for you, fantastic. But for everyone else, understand that when I chose to make a podcast, just, decided one day and I want to do a podcast, and some of you guys actually watching this will probably remember this. I just sat on it, thought about it. I like to talk. I have opinions. I don't really care what some people might tell me as far as like I'm wrong, I'm right. If anything, if you talk to me, if you've ever spoken with me and, there's a back and forth, that I'll keep going. Just the kind of guy that I am, right? And I also don't really care about opinions too much. You really can't say something about me to hurt my feelings. Okay, so I said, all right, podcast it is. Let's do it, all right? YouTube channel, tagging along with that as well. So then I started thinking to myself, so what do I need to do? So before this time around, I went with the Gary Vaynerchuk approach. Just do it. Get on camera. Do this. Just do it. I'm like, all right, sounds cool. Sounds easy. Let's just do it. Well, I did like 4 episodes or 3 episodes, and I effing hated it, right? I didn't prepare myself like I wanted to, how I felt comfortable. Now, it's not to say that the just do it approach doesn't work. I'm sure it has worked. It maybe even worked for him if he's saying it, but it just didn't feel right for me. I wanted to have certain tools to complement what I felt were my skills, right? How I like to talk now and how I like to talk 2 years ago and 3 years ago, it really hasn't changed. It hasn't, right? It's just who I am. But if, ever anybody watch one of my old videos, I put myself asleep, and that's hard. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Jonathan Torres Herrera, and you are tuning in to, it's just because it didn't give me the confidence that I wanted to, that I wanted to show. And it's not to say that I'm an expert now, by no means, right? But I just have a different energy. Now, something that people have told me, and they told me today, is, man, that microphone, JT, it really makes you sound great. Now, it's a compliment and an insult, because I'm like, so what do I sound without it? I wonder, you ever said that when we were in person? You know who you are. It's okay. I know I don't have, an Earl, Jones Jr. voice.
Look inside yourself, Simba. What we achieved was a doting father.
Or whatever the guy's name, Mufasa. I don't have one of those voices that, can put, I don't know, to sleep or maybe romanticize you. I just don't, right? It's kind of pitchy. It's off, whatever. I don't care. The mic, however, knows that. And it's like, let me fix you real quick. And it fixes it, right? I mean, to the best of its ability. Now, in comparison to other microphones that I have owned, I didn't like it. And I sure shit didn't get those compliments. Now, it just doesn't stop with the microphone. It's everything around me, right? That I chose to buy and invest to make me feel like I'm enhancing my skills, right? Take the computer for an example. There's this one here, and then there is a actual desktop that I use for, for big editing, 4K editing. Now, I could have gone and bought a $200 laptop, and that would have saved me a crap load of money. Or I could save money, and I did, and then purchase said equipment. Now, we can go back and forth for those of you guys saying, well, JT, you're not thinking about those people that can't afford it. It's because you're rich. Stop there. No, I'm not rich. And two, I just got really smart about my financials, which leads me to my next point. Okay. Someone once told me a long time ago when I said, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. And then I heard another version. That's probably where he got it from on the internet. But essentially, I don't know if it's a saying, but it's more of a question, right? Which is, before you say, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, you should ask yourself two things. Well, one is really more of a doing. Is looking around, look around your room, look around wherever you live, and ask yourself, if everything you have purchased in the last 24 months, because 2 years, when you drop the word years, sounds like a long time. 24 months, however, on the other hand, some people pay off credit card debt in 24 months, plan big trips in 24 months. Oh, see the difference, right? Just 24 months. What do you have purchased? What have you obtained in your home that you really could have done without? And instead, either A, have saved for the tools to enhance your skills, or B, maybe didn't even need to save, just outright purchase them, right? You can. There are some people living on minimum wage, and I understand that. I'm not oblivious to that. I too once worked on pretty damn close to minimum wage. I have driven for Uber and Lyft. I have done the Amazon job. I have done jobs that barely paid me to feed my family. But everything that I have now didn't come in the last 12 months, in the last 6 months. Not even half of it did, right? Because I chose to enhance my skills. That's what I felt I needed to do. I wanted to open up a website. So what did I do? I went and I signed up for Udemy classes and other classes online to teach me, right? That's a skill of its own. That's a tool, of its own. That's going to enhance whatever skill you feel that you have within you, right? Going back to like the construction workers or even people in any kind of trade, or like I said in cable, when I was in cable, there are certain tools that you're like, I cannot do without this. I mean, they gave me a drill bit, but this is the drill bit that I feel I need to purchase. I had a buddy, and you know who you are, that we used to take side jobs, like side, wiring, fish, God, I forgot the names now, but wall fishing and stuff like that, excuse me. And we took one that took us all night. Like the next morning, I went to work. I was falling asleep. I know it's a little irresponsible, but I was falling asleep while I was driving there because we wanted to do the side hustle, right? To do our own little jobs. We went to go buy tools at, Home Depot. Then we went back and bought some wires, and it was in Coronado, by the way, in California, or San Diego, excuse me. And there is no Home Depot. You have to cross the bridge and go and buy it and then cross a bridge back, and it's a pain in the ass. What's my point? That things like that happen in my life taught me that if I wanted to do, that kind of side hustle that I felt I had the skills for, or at least I was going to learn them, that I also needed to have those tools there to accompany me to continue growing said skills. And when I chose not to have them, when I chose not to invest in them, I paid dearly. I paid with sacrificing time. Because if you've ever been on a site job and you forget a tool, you don't have a tool, and you need to wait either for someone to bring it to you, you need to go buy, you need to come back, your day can potentially be gone. Now, some of you guys watching this are like, well, I don't ever plan on doing some kind of trade like that, JT. What do you mean? So what about me? I want to do, marketing, email marketing, digital marketing, some type of, side hustle that it just requires me to be on a computer all day. Well, a computer can literally be the determining tool in you making $30 an hour, $50 an hour, or maybe $200 an hour. Why? Well, I'll give you another example. I recently hired someone to do my videos, my own sister, to edit some of the stuff. I originally provided her with a crappy desktop. And then I asked her to use her own laptop. And it was like day and night in comparison to when I gave her an actual robust, good working machine. Now she pumps him out. I mean, sure, it's, she's still growing her skill, but now she's pumping him out, right, with the skill that she has. In comparison to the first week, it was slow to load, slow to render, slow to save, crashes. It makes a world of a difference, right? So I made a decision. Do I get this laptop, continue upgrading it, and then provide it to her, or save myself the $300-$400? Yes, $300-$400 is a lot of money. Again, I'm not oblivious to that. I know where I came from, and I know the sacrifices that you have to have, or you have to make. With 3 kids and a wife, I used to bunk beds with my kids, literally. So when someone comes and tells me like, "Hey man, wow, speaking from your high horse there, huh? Yeah. We think it's easy for me to spend $100? I want to do podcast at JT. I can't buy that $600 microphone. Not right now. But again, think back to 24 months ago and look around. What have you purchased? What have you done? What trips have you taken? Now, if there's that one exception, that's like, dude, I've taken no trips. I've done nothing. I purchased nothing. I just had a sheer bad luck and I can't save money. Well, I'm so sorry. Then, okay, you'll be that one exception. But the vast majority of people, in my opinion, when you want to do something in life and you have skills, complement them. And the way you're going to complement your skills is by the tools that you choose to bring to the table, right? It's how you really can stand apart from your competition, right? Because if you tell me I'm the best this and I'm the best that, and I can do this and I can do that, I think we can at least agree that there's going to be a hell of a lot of other people out there that say, yeah, me too. I can do that too. Yeah, even better, actually. But what can set you apart is the tools that you choose to invest, to outdo that competition, right? I'll give you another quick example that he came to my mind right now. So there's a guy, I don't know if I've spoken about him, but there's a guy that comes, a really old friend of the family. He comes and he does my entire yard. This man is pretty much a definition of what I'm talking about, in the sense that the guy doesn't drive, doesn't have a vehicle, but he does lawns. He does, gardening, I guess you can say. How? He literally either pushes or pulls a lawnmower, and it's not one of those like cheap, Black & Decker small lawnmowers. No, this guy pushes and pulls a Toro one. Now, if you're not familiar with it, Google it. They're big mother effers. Like, they're heavy. And hand tools and a weed whacker. And sometimes even an extension cord. That to me is a man, a person, because a woman can do it too, I'm sure, and there's a woman out there to do it, that says, you know what? I know what I can do. I just need my tools. Damn, is it going to be a pain in the ass to push and drag and everything? F it. I'm going to do it because I'm going to hustle, the side thing that he's doing. Because I don't really know what he does, with his, rest of the week. But I know he says I do yards. So, oh, by the way, this guy, he's not 20. This guy's not 30. This guy has to be at least into his 60s, maybe even older. Maybe. I know he's older than my dad. Right? So, it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's not, and maybe I shouldn't go down this road, but I will say, no, it's not his ethnicity. Because, I don't know, sometimes I hear voices in my head. People are like, "Está loco." Está loquito. I do. I hear voices in my head sometimes. I hear you guys. It's probably because he's Mexican. It's not. It's not. It has nothing to do. The fact that I have this and I chose to buy this and buy that, it's not because I'm Mexican. It's not. It's not because you're black. It's not because you're white. It's not because you're Asian. It comes down to what do you want to do with your life and the skills that you say you have. Which is obviously at the beginning why I said, right? And there's someone in here that said, dude, I just want my 8 to 5 or my 9 to 5, excuse me. I don't have skills. I just want to have my 9 to 5, retire from the same job, go home, and like watch Friends. Hey, that's fine too. That's fine too. I just, thank you for watching this, I guess, because none of this applies to you. But for everyone else, I'm really passionate about telling people to arm yourself, right? Don't do yourself a disservice. I have a cousin, I'll say a cousin, that, dreams with opening up his own like taco shop or restaurant or something. If I were that guy and I told him, right? And anybody else that wants to do something like this, hell, I want to do something like this one day. You best believe that if I wanted to go apply somewhere, right? And be like the head guy at a restaurant or even a taco shop. It doesn't have to be this 5-star place, right? Just a taco shop. Who cares? I know damn well that I'm going to crush my competition because I'm going to walk in there with all the tools that I know will complement my skill. Because if someone tells me, do you know the carne asada fries? I know how to eat them and I know how to make them. Okay? I don't know which one I know how to do better. I'm going to bring the pelapapas, the one that, the fast one. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to be the fucking Salt Bay of, of what kind of fries. I'm just going to grab the fucking meat and just like. I am. That's how I am. That's who I am. People that have met me, they know. I go extreme. Another cousin of mine's like, dude, you said out something about your podcast? And he's like, the next day I saw a freaking thing and it's like, what did he do? He's like, you're a fucking extremist. Sure, you can call me an extremist. I don't think I'm an extremist, but that's just, who I would hope most people would aspire to be. Not like me, just the best version, right, of themselves, because it would complement the hell out of their skills. I think there's a lot of talented people. There's a lot of talented people that I know personally that, man, if you were to put this in front of this person or this in front of that person, whew, the damage that they can do. But they choose to either say, hey, if my employer doesn't provide it, I will not buy it. Or, hey, there's bills, okay? There's bills. There's other shit to buy. Okay. So, well, that's it for today, guys. At least for this video. I really appreciate, like always, you guys watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And, you disagree, you agree. Leave a comment down below. I thought my wife had to go to the restroom. I'm like, shit, ring the bell. We had to ring the bell for notifications. Because, like in sign language and something goes pee, right? Whatever. It does. You once told me that to go pee, I had to go like this or something like that in sign language. She did. I look like a fucking liar now. But anyways, ring the notification bell, because if you don't, of course, you won't be told like, hey, just put another fucking rant, by YouTube. So ring that notification bell, until it has like the little sidebar things. It looks like it's ringing. Anyways, all right, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See ya.